Good day, podcast community. I'm Pete Kane, alias Podcast Pete. Want to give you something that really could change 2025 for you. And that is, why should you change? Why should you Google yourself today? And the what I want to share with you is your digital footprint matters because we're leaving the industrial economy and we're already in the digital economy. We've been for several years, but it's going to accelerate, and it already has. So I want to do something to help you be prepared for the future. I'm going to give you some tips. I usually say 3 tips, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so today there's a formula, 7-11-4. 7-11-4. Doesn't have anything to do with the convenience store 7-Eleven. It has everything to do with you, with how you can dominate your industry if you understand this principle. Daniel Priestley, you can Google him. This is his concept. And it's called 7-11-4 for this reason. People have to consume 7 hours of you digitally. That's a podcast, a YouTube video, a book, an Instagram reel, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, just a short video of you, just anything that tells people who you are. Now, when you do that 7 hours, then the next thing is a 0 moment of truth made famous by Google. And that is, I think it's 10.6 times that somebody searches you, they're ready to buy. So we say 11, round it off, 11 times. Those are buying signals. And that's why an assessment, which is the number one part of our ecosystem, is so important. And that's what Daniel Priestley's company is, a Score app. So you can get it. And I'll give you a gift at the end of this, maybe during, I don't know. But we're going to give you something that can really get you ready for 2025. And so when you say 7-11, 11 buying signals, an assessment's a buying signal, a comment's a buying signal, could be various things that signal that you're interested. And then the 4 is 4 different platforms. Now, what's a platform? YouTube, a book, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and on and on. Those are different platforms. When that happens, the brain digitally goes through that know, like, and trust. So when that happens, you immediately, the brain says, I like this guy, gal, and I want to do business with this person. And you can see it happen out there. Look at Elon Musk. Did you know that Tesla does not have a marketing department? What is their marketing department? Is 1, him, 2, the car. People talk about it. They talk about it. They share it. They tell people their experiences. So when you walk in, fixed price. Hey, it is what it is. There's no negotiating. It's just, it is what it is. People are drawn to it by the story, by the experience. So you want to be that kind of person, as Daniel says, key performance, key influence. Let me see. He has a book out, key performance and key influence, key performance, oh man, this is my ADD and my dyslexia kicking in. So it's a key person of influence, KPI, key person of influence. And he has a book out. So get the book, because you want to be that. And you have to search your yourself. See what they say about you. Because if they don't see anything, then you are blind online. And that's not what you want to be, a best kept secret. You want to be known. So search me, then search you. Pete Kane, you can put podcast in there. That's my middle initial. You look at a person like Stephen A. Smith. He's not Stephen Smith. That's a pretty common name. So he puts an A in there. You know him. Probably half of you don't know who he works for, but you know him if you're a sports fan, because he has branded his name. If he goes on to do something else, remember back, he's with ESPN for those that didn't know, Dan Berman. Remember Dan Berman? Dan Berman was the brand. People. The brain connects with people, not companies. So you're the brand. You are the brand. So what are you trying to accomplish to create that digital footprint? You have to move fast because AI is kicking in, and the compounding effect of people doing this. Look at the people out there that are key performance indicator, key people of influence. They have influence online. They have so much great content out there. People consume them. They almost like binge them. If you don't have a way for people to binge your content, you're not there yet. You have to create it. So go to my contact, put Pete Kane, put the word podcast or put the word podcast Pete, either one, and see what you see. We're just getting started. You're going to see keep getting better and better and better, but you got to start now. You can't just wait, because you wait 1 year with AI, the compounding effect of AI, you'll never catch up. Never. There won't be an opportunity to catch up. So that's why the opportunity is now. I want to help you by giving you a way for you to understand it. I always say to people, do your research. Do your research. Check things out. Don't take my word for it. Check things out. Check people. Do things. Listen to podcasts. Because you can't fool people when you put that much content out there. That's why our recent elections was a really good lesson. In one, was confident, battle tested, put himself out there 3 hours on Joe Rogan. Did the other candidate get 2 minutes on Joe Rogan? No, was afraid. Was afraid to put herself out there. And as a result, one won, another lost. One spent $1.5 billion, the other not that much, a lot less. And the people, because nobody knew her, she wasn't battle tested. She rose through the ranks, not being battle tested. You have to be battle tested in your business. I heard somebody say this the other day. Entrepreneurship is like chewing glass and enjoying the blood, because it's not easy. It's not for everybody. If you think being business for yourself is easy, don't do it. It takes a special kind of mindset, a mindset of failure, a mindset of just every day being different, pivoting, changing, just going through, just learning. And that not everybody's ready for that. If you got a paycheck coming in every day, every week, let's say, and you miss a day, no big deal. You miss a day as an entrepreneur, you miss 24 hours of time to create value. And that's what it's all. Business is a game. That's all. It's a game. And the game is played with value of dollars and soon to be Bitcoins. And so when people pay you, you're obviously worthy of value, and they're going to compensate you. Elon, people say, and I don't doubt him, can be the first trillionaire in our in our lifetime, in our world. Trillion with a T. That goes above B, that goes above M, because he's created so much value. Do you know what he does? I'm amazed. The guy was asking who knows him. He's got 3 companies. Does anybody know what his third company is? No. They know Elon. They know more people are knowing about SpaceX, and obviously more people know him through Tesla because that's his biggest. But they know the person. And now what he does, so 3 companies, spends 1 day a week in each of his 3 companies. This is what I heard. And he solves the biggest problem. So if that problem is getting with an engineer, he sits down with the person and figures it out. Not like we'll get to it in 2 weeks. He does it then. He figures it out. That's why he's such an incredible problem solver, because he figures things out every single week. If you had 3 companies and you solve the biggest problem in every company, you're going to have a successful company. So take your company and just go for the biggest problems every day. I have a philosophy. It's not mine, it's Brendan's Bouchard, but done by one. Done by one. What does that mean? I get up all early, but I'm done all the major priorities for the day by 1. Then it can be anything from after that. It could be talking to people. It could be just anything, but done by 1. Done by 1. And you prioritize things to get the toughest things done first, because your day can throw you off. But if you're done by 1, then you have the rest of the day to make things happen that you maybe want to do. So the next day done by 1, the next day done by 1. Solve your biggest problems. Follow the success of people that are successful. Elon Musk, everybody said, well, the guy asked him on a podcast, he said, well, you obviously know him, you've been with him in a couple companies. What would you say, what makes him so productive? I mean, he's what he's doing is crazy. Now he's going to solve the government problem. And so I hate to be a government worker that hasn't been in the office in 4 years or 2 years or 3 years or something, and you're going to justify your existence. I guarantee you better be looking for a job, because they're going to find out they don't need you. And 97%, I heard this, I don't know if it's true, work remotely. This is tens of thousands. Remote works, but at that scale, no possible way. Maybe the high percentage of people are doing whatever they want to do because there's no accountability and they can't. And if you say, I work for the government, few people are. I mean, I'm not saying everybody's this way, but a good majority of them, hey, look, I got a government job, they're not going to fire me, so I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. That's not a recipe for anybody's success. It's not a recipe for anybody wanting to be the best, because you're on an 80-20 podcast. Now, the 80-20 is always look at the 20% of the activities that get 80% of your work done. So get done by 1, solve the biggest problems. Google yourself, see where you are. So if you Google yourself and you see a gap and you see my digital profile and you see yours, then look at the gap. That's the opportunity right there. So I'm going to give you a way to make next year your best year ever. And that is pkane.me/masterclass. That is our ecosystem. That is a system of 10x and scaling growth. And when we get into the actual momentum of AI, wow, if you haven't been working with it in your business, you're going to regret being on that busy bus. Get on the purpose plane, fly above the distractions, and glide into the future with AI as your fuel. And that way, you will absolutely have that 10x mindset, that scaling mindset. And so what I want to do too is, you can see this is now our number one on our 10 steps is the assessment. Daniel Priestley, and there's a whole thing about assessment and waiting lists, and I'm not going to get into that, but take an assessment. Go take our assessment. To be on my podcast, I got to know you. I got to know about you, and that's why we do an assessment, to see what a person's dreams, their goals are, what they want. If I don't know what you want, how the heck can I interview you and have you on the podcast? I don't know. So I can with an assessment. So take the assessment. And also, I'm going to give you a bonus here, because this is for a limit. This is only 20 people. We are going to launch in January a beta group. This is the group that I'm going to pour into, my partner's going to pour into, and we're going to help 20 people achieve massive success. 12 weeks. And here's my offer to this group. Go to peakgain.me/opportunity. You have to have been on my podcast. I don't select anybody. We choose 20 people. And those 20 people, you're going to get massive success. And in the 12 weeks, I'm going to help you with your strategy, because in the 10 steps, there's different things. And we not every business is going to need certain things at certain times. So we have to have a strategy. So we meet once a week for an hour with the 20 people. We're going to work on high performance coaching. Then we're going to work on your strategy within the group. Then you're going to have one more hour, and that's going to be content creation hour. That's when we're going to build your digital profile. We're going to build your digital footprint, and we're going to do that. So you commit to 2 hours right now. It's a one-time offer. This will not ever be offered again. The value that you're going to get will never be offered again. $750, and that's basically $250 a month. But you have to pay $750 up front. You have to be qualified. I have to have talked to you. You have to have done an assessment. And right now we're flipping the script where people that were on my podcast can get back on it and interview me. So you can see if you like it. Plus you can ask me any question you want. Anything. Whatever you want to ask. And I'll be honest with you and tell you. So that way you get all your questions answered, and you're able to see if you want to 10x your business. Are you ready for the mindset that it takes in 2025? AI is coming in. All the factors are coming together to form the best opportunity of your lifetime. I'm 67, so if you're 25 out there, it's a shorter time frame. It's the best opportunity of anybody's life, because AI is going to change everything as we know. We're in a transition phase, and there'll be people, just like people that when Bitcoin was 1,000 a coin were wondering. They didn't get in it. Some did. Now it's 106,000. By the time you listen to this, if it's a year later, it'll probably be 500,000. Who knows? But it's early adopters right now. It's that 3%. And that's what I'm looking for, is your 3% of the people that are nice. As I say, they're bold. They want to make an impact, and they want to have fun. So if that's you, go to the opportunity. If you haven't taken the podcast, if you haven't been on my podcast, do it quick, because we're here towards the end of January, and this is starting. We haven't set the date exactly, but it's going to be probably the first week, at the latest, the second week, because we have a live event the 18th of January. So we have a lot to do before that live event, because we're going to pack it. We're going to pack it at Kennesaw Grace Church, and that's where our speaker is going to come. And that's a great event. And you can learn, you can meet people, and for our clients, you get to speak. So we have an incredible event plan. And just to tell you a little bit about what we do, you can go to this, peakgain.me/magazine. So this is it's a digital asset. We're going to do 100 of these next year. This is 20 stories, 20 people get coached, 20 people spend time with each other for 12 weeks. A high performance coach will coach you. I'll coach some. Then my community of high performance coaches will coach some. So we're going to have 100 magazines next year. Now, why would a magazine be important to you? It's community. It's a way. First, you start out maybe with a city. Then it could be a shopping center of, let's say there's 30 different retailers in there. When you know the story of that retailer, you're more likely to connect with them. When your neighbor knows your story, that person is more likely to refer people. So the magazine becomes the glue that connects the community within the shopping center. And this is available on Amazon. If you want to get one, go to Kennesaw Happenings on Amazon, order one. And you can see a model, a framework for it. There's, I think, 32 or 3 people that are in the magazine. These are people who have been a guest on the magazine. These are people, some of them will be a part of the 20, some will not. That's life. Some will, some won't. And as people say, so what? It's your choice. And I hope you can take advantage of it. So as we wrap up, Google your name, Google my name, see what the gap is, and that's your opportunity for 2025. And if you want to get going, go to the masterclass. It's free. You don't even have to give me your name and email. It's free. It's free. We even have one, these are 10 individual videos. We even have one that we did, or I did, that's going to be on Spotify. So most of our podcasts are on Spotify. Most, not all. But you can go to my YouTube channel, Pete Kane, and you can see the name right there. You go right there and you go to, or just Google my name. It comes up first. So we hope to see you now. The AI free course right there. PeteKane.me/AI, Jeff Bourgeois. Search him and go to LinkedIn and see his Big Thinker Universe community. This is a big thinker, and this could change your life and your generational wealth if you take advantage of this opportunity. Because AI, if you've listened to anything deeper than just sound bites from the media, and you've gone deep into understanding the magnitude of what we're about to see, it's like compounding times 100. You've all heard of compounding interest. Well, if you times that by 100, every company that's going to be implementing it is going to be compounded. It's going to be a collaborative effort. It's going to get so fast, so quick, you're not going to be able to make up for the difference in time. Because just like Jeff does this, he can save you 10 hours a week. What if you could save 40 hours a week? What could you do with that time? What could you do with that 40 hours? I guarantee it's going to be a higher level problem solving. And if you can do that, you're going to grow like a Tesla, like a SpaceX, like a person that's implementing this. People that implement AI, people that implement solving problems, buying back their time, because everybody gets the same amount of time, 24 hours. How to use it. And in Elon's case, once a week, he meets with his company, meets with, what's your biggest problem? They tell him, then he solves it. And if it means getting with an engineer right then, he does it. He solves it. So what does he do? He attracts the top talent in the universe, because person that is a high achiever wants that kind of atmosphere. So they want to work for them. I mean, you look at Amazon, they grew so fast because people wanted to work for them. The winners wanted to be a part of something growing. So if you're growing 2x, and I know a person, he ain't going to be around. Not going to be around at all. He's added one client in 6 months. He will be out of business working for somebody else, because his mindset, one is fear, two is that old inch by. It's so much more competitive in the messy middle. If you get up above in that purpose plane and you fly your business with the mindset of not letting fear dominate you, and you go out and solve the biggest problem every day, and you don't sit behind a computer and just do busy work, then you'll make it happen. But if you don't, you won't be around. So you're going to see a lot of winners and losers. And our recent election is always just a snapshot of what's happening. And you saw that one camp, battle tested. One camp was on podcast, long form podcast. All his team was on podcast. The other spent $1.5 billion, lost every swing state, got blitzed, got smoked, and didn't get on hardly. The only podcast I remember getting on is when she paid $100,000 to the person, fabricated the environment. You can't control. That is gone. Legacy media is gone. Done. Finished. Stick a fork in it. It's finished. The new media is long form podcasting, is podcasting. As I did a podcast on, I think it was 166 in Seth Godin's new book, This is Strategy. And it talked about NPR. NPR 10 years ago was bigger, but they're just a fraction now. And there is, let me see if I can get these numbers right, 2 million podcasts and 18 billion hours of viewed, something crazy. You can get his book, go to 166, or search a video that I did in my YouTube channel. You'll find it, but it'll give you the exact numbers. But the fact is one got the information out to the listener. The other tried to control it, and it never happens, never works. But people try, but they don't succeed. So remember 7-11-4. Remember, get your digital footprint. See what you look. Just look at it. See how you present yourself online. And then take the course. Take Jeff's course. Go to the master class. Understand it. Kind of like Bitcoin. You want to understand where Bitcoin is going? Spend some time learning about it. I would ask most of my people, this was back a couple years ago, I'd ask them about Bitcoin. They go, I don't understand. I never invest in anything I don't understand. And that's true. But that doesn't mean you can't try to understand it. Don't just say, well, I don't understand it. That's like saying, I give up. No, keep trying. Keep probing. Keep talking to people. Keep searching. Keep finding out the information you need to formulate your belief system. And then when you do, you go from an early adopter to taking advantage of that opportunity. If you don't, you'll wake up one day and the world will be past you. And you'll be wondering what happened instead of being ahead of the trend. We're in a digital revolution. It's all about your digital footprint. And if you take action now, your future will be bright. So, thank you so much. If you know of somebody that you think could use this, please share it with them. You'll bless them. You'll give them the gift that'll keep on giving, and they'll love you forever. So be bold, make an impact, and be happy.